ways to make your love and your life sweeter. I am Candace Harper, lovecoach.com, and welcome back for another Monday, another week. Those of you who are listening on Armed Radio on your smart device in the TuneIn app, or maybe you're in the garden, you know I love the garden, with Armed Radio Global, or perhaps you are on Facebook, you're a social media head like I am, and you are tuning in to watch us live so that you can play with us and comment and watch us be wild and fun. I have a guest tonight, everybody. So my friend Toby Blackwell is here, and I'm going to tell you about him in a second. But first, I want you to know two things. You can call. We're going to be playing a game tonight, and you can call in 1-800-508-5431. Also, if you are on social media, and especially if you're watching live, I want you to join either the Creative Love Collective or Armed Radio Group News, or both of them, and be in those groups so that you can know when we're going to be on, when we're going to be live. You can get all our post updates and information. Also, you can email me at askforcandypodcast@gmail.com. Like I said, I am Candace Harper, lovecoach.com. My talent is conversation. My passion is personal growth. My purpose is to teach and inspire radical self-acceptance in myself and others so that we can all have our best possible love life. And I'm so thrilled tonight because my Toby Blackwell, my love, my person who I adore, my brother from another mother, is here with us. He's a Harvard graduate, a former naval officer, a singer, an actor, a comedian, a quintuple threat, honey. He is joining the podcast tonight. Not only is he one of my favorite performers from our old days at the Duplex.
Old being the operative word.
Old being the operative word. He is also the title holder of busiest unemployed person ever, a title he won mostly because he made it up. But you're so good at it.
Yeah, I live up to it every year. No one can take that crown from me.
You and me both. He's also an accomplished touring entertainer. He's graced shows like Rent, Godspell, Smokey Joe's Cafe, and so many others with his amazing voice. I don't want to put you on the spot, but we might get warm and, you know, have you sing a little song if you feel like it.
I had a riff like the last time.
Right? So, just a little. Just give us a few notes, you know, a little up and down. He also has a hilarious YouTube channel, and I've had the honor of knowing Toby for well over 10 years. And I'm just glad you're here, my love. I'm so
excited
happy
to be here. It's fun to see you doing your thing and getting out to this whole bigger audience. And I like your Oprah look. You've been rocking. You got the big hair, the serious glasses. You know,
I'm Super Soul Sunday.
You are ready to go.
I'm
Lindsay Lohan on it. Let's talk about it.
I am Soul Sessions right now. So tell us some more about you, Toby.
So yeah, I am all of those things. I've done a lot of things in my life. I said I wanted my People magazine article to be really interesting, and so now I just got to get into People magazine.
Any day.
And, yeah, you know, and just I'm someone who just kind of does a lot of things. I like to make my life interesting, and I don't really want to ever do a 9-to-5 job. I've done those. I did a 9-to-9 job when I was in the Navy. But yeah, I've had a lot of things go on in my life, and it's been good. And I just kind of roll with the punches and continue to sing and do comedy and do things like this. Talking to people. Yeah. I've also been around, so I've learned some life lessons. So even on tobyblackwell.com, which is my website, you can see my 40 things I learned at 40, which is sort of the life lessons, and we'll be updated soon as the years go by. So I think this is I'm excited to go on and talk about relationships and love, and especially for you straight women out there, let you know what some gay guy thinks.
Hello, honey. And I love that you showed up in beast mode.
Beast mode. We're in beast mode. Yes. This is relationship beast mode. Right? And it's on.
It is on. So now I see also Michael Plosky has joined us. Angela, Tanya, Bowens, Gamble. I love that you joined us with all your names, sweet love. Dana Romano's here. Miles is here. Narit is here. So people are coming in on the Facebook Live. If you're listening, if you're out there in the interwebs and you're listening on the TuneIn app, that's cool too. Maybe you're driving in your car. Welcome. We love you. We don't know your name, but we love you all the same. Oh, see how I rhymed that out?
That's how a catchphrase happens. You're going to be a meeting now.
Right? So now what this show is about, each week we have lively conversations about different topics relating to love and relationships. Those of you who've been back again and again know what it's all about. Sometimes I bring on special guests like my friend Toby today. We do games and activities. Always we get a chance to laugh and cry or just learn something new. And that is why this is a conversation. That is why I want you guys to interact with us. I want you to comment if you're watching on Facebook Live. I want you to call in if you're listening out there in the ethers, 1-800-508-5431. We're going to be playing a really fantastic game of Never Have I Ever. Now, I love your face, Toby. Now, here's the thing about this game. So me and Toby are going to be playing here in the studio, which is my kitchen. We're going to be playing here, but I want you guys to play too. So we're going to be picking Never Have I Ever's out of this fantastic, the Red Love Bowl. I don't know if you guys remember.
Fancy.
Right?
I didn't know we had that kind of budget here.
Hello, honey. We got a little bit. We got a little bit of revenue. So this is our fancy love bowl that we used on our Valentine's special where we played a different game. So we have our love bowl, and to create our abundance, we have the money we can win, right? We have our gold coins. We always have to use gold coins.
These aren't even chocolate. These are real
gold. Right? These are the real plastic gold coins.
Yes.
But, you know, they represent abundance and they represent wealth. And I don't just mean like money wealth. I mean just, you know, abundance in our lives and gratitude, right?
Everyone deserves abundance.
Everyone deserves abundance. So that's why that's what we get to win. Now, if you're playing at home, we're going to have to come up with some really special prize. I have to be honest, like, you know, full disclosure. If you guys play with us and you end up winning the game, I'm going to make sure you get a prize. Thank you for whoever's liking. You can send those likes. If you play and you win, I'm going to make sure you get a prize. I have no idea what that prize is in this moment. We have
a prize for ourselves.
We have a prize between us. Like if one of us wins, what was our prize?
Dessert.
Yes.
They have to provide dessert for the two of us. So maybe we'll figure out some way to do some kind of dessert to where people are. We can, you know, ship them like a cupcake or something that's, you know, cute. Yeah. We'll figure it out.
If I win, it means you cook a dessert, and if you win, I cook a dessert.
Yeah, and if someone from the audience wins, then we together figure out some kind of goodie to send to them. Or
and we both bake. You bake, right? We both bake.
I have a mother that bakes. If Blue Apron don't make it, I don't make it.
Well, I bake. I like to bake. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I think we should do it together, and you can call your mom.
Yeah.
How about that? All right. So who else joined? Chris joined. Scott joined. I'm so glad you guys are here. Are we ready to play?
Yeah.
So the way we're going to do it, sometimes this is a drinking game. The way we're going to do it is we're just going to have like, you know, an amount of time that we do it, because we're going to be able to, like as we pick a Never Have I Ever, if we've done it, let's say both of us have done it, we both get the opportunity to tell the story about whatever it is. So if you've done it, you get 1 gold coin. Now you at home on Facebook, you're just going to hit that like button if you've done it, and that's great.
Yeah.
But if you've done it and you comment and you tell your story, you're going to get 3 coins, which we will have represented for you here. That will be your piece of abundance right here. And if we tell our story, we also get 3 coins. So you can have done it and just get 1. And if you tell your story, you then get 3. And you guys can get 3 for telling your story. And at the end, when we say cut, we add them all up, and you just have to trust us that we're going to be on the honor system here, that whoever has the most coins wins Never Have I Ever, dating and relationships version.
Yeah, so it's the likes that happen right after we read the question, because you can also like other things in the podcast because there's a lot.
Right.
So the ones right after read the question are be the ones that count towards your point score.
Yes, and you can just keep smashing that like button and smashing it and smashing it.
But then we really want to hear the comments. That's where you get your coins.
Right? Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. You guys just get in there.
There's a strategy. There's a strategy.
There's a strategy to this. And I love it when people do comment here, because it, you know, sometimes the technical stuff gets a little glitchy, but don't worry about that. You go ahead and comment, and even if it's later on, I'll figure it out. So
and call in. They can call in.
They can call in 1-800-508-5431. Should we get started? Should we play this game? Never Have I Ever.
The Powerball number is Never have I ever eaten a coworker's food from the fridge.
Oh, that one's light. I've done that. I mean, okay, so I get a coin. If anybody out there has ever done that. No, am I the only person who's ever eaten a coworker's food from the fridge?
Interesting.
I know that's not really a dating one. That's more of like a filler Never Have I Ever, but still.
Yeah, so what's the story?
It says a lot about like how people treat it. Well, I'll say this. Like, I used to temp.
Are those really coworkers though?
Well, if you work someplace long enough as a temp, they sort of become your coworkers, right? But they're not enough of your coworkers that you like, you know, care if you eat. You respect their food. So we're going back a little bit. You know, in my 20s, I used to temp, and sometimes when you're temping, you're a little hungry. So I might have eaten a half a sandwich here and there.
Ooh, like a half in there, or did you create
like
it to be a half? Oh,
like a whole sandwich would be in there.
So you had the whole sandwich because no one's going to eat a sandwich that half of it already eaten.
I got the half that I eat.
Well, 3 points.
I might have used people's dressings.
Oh, there we go.
All right, we need to get into the juicy
ready?
ones. Okay, is this juicy?
Never have I ever hooked up with an ex's best friend.
No, I didn't do that. You neither?
Nobody, and they didn't.
Nobody in the Facebook Live audience has ever hooked up with a best friend's ex. Good. We're all people of love integrity. I love that. Never have I ever had sex with anyone over 10 years older than me. I'm not telling the story.
My story is easy. I am currently dating someone
over 10 years.
Yeah, like a few months over 10 years. And looks better than me, so good for him. Oh yeah.
Is he like a Jack LaLanne? Is he like?
It's ridiculous. I'm just like, why are you like pretty young one?
Yeah.
And I already look young, but I mean, he looked young.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about?
I'll tell you, his name is Peter. He's amazing. He's probably listening right now.
Hey, Peter.
Chime in. And yeah, he's awesome. And he's just great. And I love him because, you know, he's maybe 10 years older than me. He acts like he's younger than me. And
he does.
He looks like he's younger than me. And that just proves age is just a number. It's really about like your attitude and where you're at. There are some really mature 20-something-year-olds and there are some really immature 60-something-year-olds, you know?
I totally agree with that.
So, yeah. So.
It's funny too, because I have just reactivated my whole dating life within the past couple of weeks. And I have to say, like, you know, at this age now, I feel way more vibrant with the way that I take care of myself than I ever did when I was much younger. So I think you're right. Like in a lot of ways, I mean, we talk about this a lot on the show, like when you date people of different ages and, you know, the different phases that we go through in our life based on our age. But in a lot of ways, I think that what it really comes down to is a person's sort of self, like how they take care of themselves. Yeah. Right? Because you could have somebody who's pretty up there, and if they've taken good care of themselves, and I don't necessarily just mean physically, but also emotionally, then you're going to tend to have somebody who just has a zest for life and is happy.
And I tend to hang around with people younger than me, and you know, like I call myself grandpa, and I just do. But you know, in terms of dating, it's just the stability that's there. You know, with someone older, and just they've been through some stuff that we've been through. That some younger people, you know, mature have not, you know, and so it's interesting that, you know, even though I usually hang out with people younger than me, that I'm actually the person I'm closest to is someone, you know, is older than me. Yeah. And but he's awesome. So
I love it. I mean, I get a lot of online dating attention from older guys. Like one was the same age as my dad, and I'm kind of like I'm trying to not be biased about that because I do believe in the zest for life thing. I struggle.
It's just it depends what sort of person, as it would anyway. You know, is there going to be a huge generational gap? Are they, you know, and it's just that's true of anybody.
That's true.
You know, can we talk about the same things? You know, there's going to be people that can talk about entertainment and people that can talk about sports, and they won't blend no matter what age they are. You know what I mean? So it just really depends. So people get so caught up on age, and you know, and it's a number.
Just be out there and having fun. Just be yourself. Love each other. All right, what's next?
Can I have my coins, please?
Yeah. Oh. I didn't give you your coins.
No, thanks, Peter, for the extra 2 coins I wanted to talk about you. All right. Never have I ever called someone the wrong name while hooking up.
I've done that. Like just a make-out, though. Have you done that?
I think so. Yeah. For one thing, I can never remember Peter's name. It was hilarious. I'm always like, hey, I'm always like, you know, what's his nuts over there? And people are like, what's his nuts? And so, you know, and but I think that's true love. Because my mother could never, like, you know, your mom and dad could never remember your name. My mom goes through all, you know, my grandma goes through all her 8 kids' names so she gets the right one. So I think that's true love. So. Yeah,
that's hilarious. See, I did it probably in college, definitely in college. I mean, you know, when you are in college, especially at a school like Penn State, and there's a lot of partying and drinking and things like that, hooking up is basically like somebody that you bump into in the frat room, you know, frat house hallway, and maybe just start making out with, whatever. Like, it's so easy to be like, oh, is it you or your frat brother or what? That makes me sound so cheap. I swear. Right? It wasn't like, I wasn't one of those girls that was like sleeping with everybody, but you know, you kiss somebody in the hallway. You might not, it might be his
But I've never like done
Mike,
it because
Dave.
I was.
Everybody's named Mike and Dave.
Oh, hello. Because it wasn't because I imagined myself with a different person. It's just like, just the wrong name comes out, or I'm bad at names.
Yeah.
So,
We both got coins on that one. What's going on here? Why do I have an extra one? I have an extra one.
Cheating.
Oh, well.
Never have I ever been drunk at work.
Oh. I
guess I have, like still drunk.
Yeah, still drunk from the night before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I used to temp.
Like, I was about to do the same thing. I temp job. But I mean, like, you like, I used to be in the Navy, and you'd be out late, and then the next day, like, got 4 hours of sleep, and you're up, and you're our military.
Yeah, right.
Is like.
What about you guys?
You guys know. You guys military guys know. Sometimes those nights are big nights, and you still got to get up and do your thing in the morning, and you're there, and you doing your best.
And you got to get up early, smelling like liquor from the night before.
You're just doing your best, and they do.
The walk of shame. What about the Facebook Live people? What's happening with you guys? What have you just? Do I have just all pristine people?
Yeah,
nobody
from Facebook Live has been
they've never done anything. It's just us.
Never have I ever given or received a purely sensual massage.
Oh, I have.
Now, what does that mean?
Well, that just means, like with a partner. Some people have done it without a partner, but I've done it with a partner. It just means that it's just purely for the sake of like getting them or yourself warmed up for sex.
Because I don't think I can give good actual massages
like oils
if you need
and
it,
stuff?
but I can make you feel really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, do you use oils? Have you used
No, that's too messy.
I'm all about the oils.
Yeah, but people have used oils like on me, and it's it's cold.
Yeah. You get 4, right?
Yes. Okay.
And
Here we
get
go.
4. I feel like we're just sweeping this because our Facebook Live people are like watching us like TV, which is fine. I don't mind that. Never have I ever gone on a date purely for the free drinks and dinner. Oh God. You've never done that? Is that a woman thing?
I've done a version of that.
Okay.
So I feel like maybe if I just. I'll take it. So hooking up with this guy at a hotel, and like we probably finished at like around 6 o'clock.
Done that
and I knew breakfast at the hotel started at 7 o'clock and was very good. So I just kind of like hung out and like let it go on, and then I like took a shower, so that it was 7 o'clock when I left, so I could go down and have the free breakfast.
Yes. Okay.
So I didn't like go on to the hookup for it, but I stayed later because I knew breakfast was starting in an hour.
Yeah.
And it was a very good breakfast, and I made waffles, and I was happy. So.
I love it. But see, that case scenario is when they're not necessarily.
I did not go and I didn't go like but they paid for the hotel room. But that's nice. So I only get 1 point, but I just like that.
See, I have this whole thing about, especially these days, and maybe Angela can amen me with this. Like, I don't know if it's our generation or what, but there's this whole dynamic of like paying and the date and who's supposed to pay and all of that stuff and how that dynamic works out. And I feel like these days it's a really hard. Like whether you're in a straight or gay relationship or whatever, it's a really hard sort of road to navigate, like who's supposed to pay, when they're supposed to pay, like, all of that stuff. But I do feel like there's still sort of those leftover guys who are really good about paying for dates and, just sort of do that whole. Is
there a rule? And then, I know, and then it becomes more confusing for gay relationships if they're both guys. So, is there, if you go with that traditional, method of deciding who pays. So I don't know what the rule, what rule is sort of do you go by, or do you?
Well, see, I think that, in this day and age, a lot of people say that it has to do with who asks.
I kind of think that makes sense.
Right? Yeah, it does make sense. But I have to say there's that old fashioned part of me that's like, first of all, I'm rare to ask on the first, like to ask for the first date.
Right.
Like, will you go out with me and then I pay? I feel very masculine in that. I don't think I've ever done that.
Yeah. So it depends, in our culture, like that's still defined as a masculine thing.
What does Angela say? She says, yes, there are some great guys out there. I've never been asked to pay or been expected to pay. See?
Good.
Go ahead, girl. I like that.
but that leads Angela to you going on dates for free food.
Right. Which she did admit. So you get 3 gold coins for telling that part of it too. But I have also done that because here was the thing. I might have thought that they were a really nice person. And I actually don't mind spending time, a certain amount of time with anybody. Right. Like if I meet a guy and I'm not that attracted to him and he asks me out, I will likely go out with him and have the free food, enjoy the free food, but also be open. Like,
but are you right? But then, like, if you pretty much know you're not into it romantically, and he thinks it's a date, so it's romantic. Are you leading him on? Are you sort of, are you really there for the food? Or you could be there to make a good friend, but he thinks it's something else because he asked you on a date, and if it was not clear, like, how do you feel about that? Or how does it usually end with these people?
I think that's a good point. I will say this. I will generally say yes, even if I'm not initially attracted, just to see if there's a possibility. So I do approach it like there could still be a possibility I could become attracted.
Mm-hmm.
If it's somebody that I immediately know I'm not attracted to, I wouldn't be like, let me just go out with this person anyway to go ahead and get the meal. So, I get what you're saying because there's that level of like,
Right. So you're still going on it as a date. There's a possibility. That's what a date is.
Yeah,
really figuring out if that's going to be something, and it just it's not one that leads to anything. So
yeah. So it's still there's still possibility.
Right. Okay. You don't like.
Yeah. Yeah. But I have to say I do like I don't feel necessarily bad about just going having food.
Right. I mean, food and conversation. It's not like you go there, slap your face, and then leave.
Right. All right. Bye.
Right. But sometimes you go into things thinking that they're going to be better than that, and then maybe they surprise you. As long as you're open to it, I think that's the point of dating.
Yeah, I agree. Being open to possibilities, I like that. Absolutely.
And that you're kind to the person.
Yes, and kindness always. Even if you don't like someone, especially if they are paying, just be kind because it doesn't hurt.
Right.
You might become friends. And I always say they also might be the conduit to the person that you do really like. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that happens. You end up, fixing each other up with other people. Yeah.
All right. Never have I ever slept with one of my close friends who I was not interested in dating.
Oh. No, I've not done that. You did that? Are you going to talk about it?
No.
No?
I mean, it's a generic. It's like there's more than one. Just,
Yeah.
Okay, we go to Fire Island. Things happen.
I hear that. Has anybody out there slept with a close friend that they didn't want to have a further relationship with, but just maybe tried it out? You can either leave a comment or you can call us at 1-800-508-5431 and get in on this game if you're willing. It takes a certain level of bravery.
But in general, I don't like to I don't even, if someone's my friend, I don't even think of them romantically. Like I don't my friends don't even like you're in friend zone and you stay there. So it's like not really often that it happens, but yeah. And so I don't know if people have that kind of situation where if someone's my friend, I don't even hardly even see them sexually. They can be so hot, but if you're like my friend, then I'm just that's just weird to me.
Like you're my friend, that's it.
It's weird.
Does it count if you started out in a relationship and slept with them and then you became friends? Because I have a lot of people.
I think the question is like they were already your close friend and you weren't going to date them. See, you weren't interested.
Yes. Okay. You have to have never been interested in dating them. Lee Schultz. Hi, Lee. My Lee is here. Lee, we're playing Never Have I Ever. You have to join in. Please comment or hit the like button if you have done one of the things that we mentioned. Those of you listening in the garden, those of you on the TuneIn app, 1-800-508-5431. What's our next Never Have I Ever? Never have I ever faked an orgasm. Have you? Okay.
I'm not going to discuss it. I'm going to get all of that. But,
Lee says he's done it all. Okay, Lee, you get a gold coin. And if you comment you're faking up the orgasm, you get 3 gold coins. Now, wait a second, because I feel like it's common for women, especially when you've been in a long relationship. But for men, it's not usually so common.
This is going on for a long time, and so you just want it to be done. Like you're like, I'm about to pull my back out. It's time to go. And so you make some noises and pretend it's like women. Yeah, it's not common. I do it a lot, but yeah.
Lee says he did it too. Lee, you get 3 coins. Did I already give him his 3 coins?
You give him 1.
Okay, so 3 coins for Lee. Angela has 4 coins. Lee has 4 coins. And we don't know how many we have yet. We're beating y'all. Y'all have to participate with this. So would it be bad of me to ask you, what does Angela say? I stopped when I turned 40 because I felt like you're absolutely right, Angela.
You stopped faking them.
She stopped faking them because she felt like she was cheating herself, right?
Oh, because everyone thinks that whatever they're doing is good, and
right, and then they never learn.
Yeah,
she's absolutely right on that.
I mean, some people will never learn, but yeah, if you could have a teachable moment, yeah.
Right? Oh, I hate that when you no matter what you say or how you try to communicate, when someone doesn't get that you like something a certain way or that you I don't know, whatever. Is it bad of me to want to know the details? Maybe you can tell me after the podcast starts, but I want to know the details
of
how a man fakes an orgasm.
Here's how a woman does it. It makes some noises and
Really?
yeah.
Yeah, but there's, like I was watching Bert Kreischer earlier, who's this comedian who always does his stand-up with his shirt off. He's hilarious. But he was talking about how with men there's evidence. It's so funny because he was talking about this exact thing.
You can
figure that out.
Yeah,
What's Lee say? It was one of those times that shouldn't happen. I made the orgasm face. The sex was horrible, and I wanted to be done. Lee told the story.
That's the same thing.
Yeah.
I made the orgasm face.
And it's usually like some sort of porn.
And as you're making the face, the fake version of it, you're like, wow, the real face must look really cool.
Right? Lee says you have a condom on, a little shiver, and that's it.
Thank you. Exactly what happened.
That totally makes sense. I feel like, Lee, you get an extra gold coin.
I mean, because so much sex is acting anyway. People make the noises they heard in porn, and so it's just another form of acting. You just have to really big dramatic finish.
Yeah. All right, that all makes sense. Okay, never have I ever kissed someone without knowing him or her. Well, wait. I mean, how do you classify knowing? Because are we talking?
You made the question. I
got these off online.
Oh.
I didn't write all these questions.
Without knowing her, you mean knowing?
I don't know.
Like a stranger or someone you just met?
Yeah. Okay. So let's say a stranger.
Yeah.
You kissed a stranger? Oh, you all right?
Yeah. A stranger.
we have a lot of stuff on the table. You guys can't see.
Yeah. This set is very tight.
Yes.
I kissed a stranger.
Okay. All right.
I think even at the place at the bars. I've been out with you.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Splash. Back there.
And you've never have?
I'm trying to think if I've kissed anybody. I mean, I've kissed people that I didn't know that well.
You just talked about in college.
Yeah. I didn't know them well.
You threw out the same name of someone that you had sex with, but you never kissed someone you didn't know. You just jumped right to the home run, shoot for the outfield, and you make it all around.
But what I'm saying is that, in college and stuff, we all know it. All of them as you know them
as frat guy number one, and frat
guy
number two. Exactly.
Mike number 3.
I think it's Mike. It's Mike is not knowing somebody.
All right, so then I'll say I'll take the gold coin.
Anybody want to? Oh,
Joseph Dino joined.
That's just someone. The first date. Does that count?
Does that count? Are we counting first dates?
I think you know them though, because you know who they are. They're not you didn't just meet them. So
yeah.
I don't think that counts.
I don't know, Angela. Yeah.
I think kissing on the first date is that's if it went well. I think that's standard, is it not?
Yeah, kind of. I had a first date last week. I just kissed on the cheek.
Okay.
And he was nice. I mean, it
I
wasn't
had a first date in the 80s, and so I don't really. Then Grindr came out, and
Right, and that was it. I saw that both Rebecca and Joe joined. Welcome, Rebecca and Joe. Angela said, I like being standard. So you're saying the standard of kissing on the first date, having a kiss on the first date.
Well, Angela, it seems like being standard for dating has really worked well for you. Going with the old-fashioned way. It seems like it's worked well for you. So, I mean, you go with what works well,
right?
For you. And it sounds like what you're doing is working.
Some nice dinners, some nice kisses at the end.
Nice kisses, yeah. Right. So, and the guy pays. You got the formula. It has.
Hello, sister.
Yeah, don't change what's working.
She said it has. Okay.
Never have I ever sexted with a colleague just for kicks. Sexted. That's sex texted, as the kids are calling it.
Sex texted. I think I have. But when this...
With a colleague, not like a boyfriend, a colleague. Just for
what
fun. For fun, like you're pretending, and you just send something dirty, text just to embarrass them, or so their boss reads or something like that. You said just for kicks, not for
just
serious.
For kicks. Okay, then maybe not. Well, no, I think it was just for kicks. Yes, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Just for fun, just to be silly.
What happened?
And maybe, well, it was weird because I think that the boundary was this person, I'm loosely using the term colleague with this person. So there was a possibility of there definitely was an attraction there. But, I sexted back and forth with this person knowing that I had really no intentions of sleeping with them really, or having anything with them because they were a colleague.
What was the point of doing it?
Just because the flirtation was fun.
It was serious flirting. It wasn't just you were kind of flirting. I just think, sexting is, I don't know, not by fate. I
No.
keep typing in what I'm going to do on this little thing with my phone and trying to, and my swipe thing doesn't work. I gotta go back, delete, and then I go and I think that just,
You mean
I
like
get
you
a
don't-
call,
you
I'm in the
don't
middle of
have
it,
emoji
I'm in the middle
mix
of it, I get a call, and then I'm sending emojis. Like, to me, that's like,
It's very juvenile, but it's fun.
not good. It can be fun.
It can be fun.
And people, you can get real sexy with emojis too. Some emojis,
Yes.
like, they have so much meaning, and it's just, that's what we're doing now. So
Right?
I guess I
Eggplants
should
and
learn.
peaches. And
Yeah, eggplants and, yes.
Y'all out there, you have to tell us if you've been sexting with your. I see Mary Beth and Joe joined. Hi, you guys. I'm glad you're here. Wait.
Never have I ever came and stopped having sex, even though the other person didn't or wouldn't finish.
Oh, no, I can't. You have?
Some people take a long time. And when guys have sex and they finish, you sometimes, and by sometimes I mean all the time, want to go to the bathroom and take a nap.
Get something to eat.
Right, and then some people take forever.
Yeah.
And and after a while you're like, oh, God, I can't anymore. I will try. I will. I'm not. I would love it if I'll have it, but sometimes it just takes forever. And you're just not going to happen. And you just got to be honest.
I feel like that's a relationship thing too. Like when you're in a relationship. I mean, I'm sure it happens with people who hook up too.
Right.
But I feel like when you've been with someone for a while, the likelihood of getting yours and then stopping and being like, I can't do it right now.
But by the same token,
Everybody
if the situations are reversed, I'm like, okay, well, cool, I'm done because I understand. I'm empathetic.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
yeah,
I'm fine. Yeah.
Like
you don't
every
want,
now
I'm
and
like,
then
no, I'm
we'll
good
leave
because I
each
don't.
other.
Then it's like a lot of pressure, and they're like watching you, and like it's that's just bad too.
Right?
Yeah.
But then if you've been with each other for a while, every now and then you're going to leave each other cold, and it's kind of
That's
like
fine, yeah. But that means you're gonna talk, but even then, and if I'm with somebody, I will be more likely to talk and be like, "Are you really? Is this really gonna happen or not?" You know what I mean? And they'll be like, "Yes, no," because if you're with someone, hope you're honest, and about it, and you decide what's gonna happen, and it all works out.
Yeah, I hear that.
that.
Anybody, Lee, Angela? You guys
Lee
ever
just
leave
laughed.
anybody cold? I know Lee just laughed, so I don't know if that's a laugh of having done it. You hit that like button if you have. Let's see. Never have I ever doubted my sexuality. I have. Have you? No? Not even for a second ever?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, I always talk about, because obviously I have a lot of lesbian friends, obviously. I'm a love coach.
A lot of people, it's like that. A lot of people are getting a lot of likes.
Right? There's a lot of likes
Doubt
on
their
it.
sexuality.
The sexuality doubt. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I also think that, women in this culture are allowed to be more fluid and, without any sort of judgment. There's a lot less shame when women, are more fluid about their sexuality. But I have to say, like, I'm the type of person who, what is Janelle Monáe calls herself? Pansexual. I wouldn't necessarily call myself pansexual. Because like, I have to say, and this is going to sound so crude, when I was involved with women, I did eventually miss dick. Like there's a part of me that like really like loves my straightness. And
right.
I love being with men and, men are my thing. But I also can appreciate women. I can appreciate, women being beautiful. I can appreciate, an attraction for women. But I don't see that for me, that attraction is not I want to be in a long relationship
right.
with you.
Well, what is pansexual versus?
Pansexual is when you're not gender, it's not about their gender. It's really just about like seeing the inner person and being attracted to the inner person. So, the person could be transitioning. They could be, whatever.
Is sex, the actual physical act of sex, like less important to people that consider themselves pansexual, or?
I don't necessarily think so.
They're like, we're just gonna make it work.
Yeah, I think it's a make it work kind of thing.
Right.
Like I just love everybody. I love who I love.
Right.
And it doesn't matter. So I think she's just trying to include, all the LGBTQ community.
The things as we recognize and appreciate different people.
And Julie joins.
Oh, they've been missing some discussions.
I know you guys are missing all the fun. You're missing the never have I ever.
There's definitely a thing in gay culture where a lot of gay guys have a fetish of getting with a straight guy. I hooked up with a straight guy last week, and I was like, "You had gay sex with a straight guy?" Well, to me, one thing that makes you not straight is having gay sex. I don't know. Just an idea.
Right,
but they're like, no, yeah, that's
just
straight this, and then some people are like, no, yes, if you like do such and such thing. And I know many cultures, if you're the the top, the insertive partner, you're not considered gay. So like they'll do that, you know, and these guys are married, you know, in many cultures. And so it's just different, interesting, the whole idea that, you know, of having to, you know, be this and this and doing the definitions of things. But I just know that I like sex with guys.
Yeah, and you feel like you've always known from the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, you know, I pretended in high school to maybe, you know, start to have girls out and then never, you know, but I didn't have any girlfriends. And I just, you know, once I was aware of sexuality, I knew that was where it was going.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they do say, you know, the Kinsey scale. We're all in different
everyone's different. I would do that. Just, if you're like, this straight guy, I was like,
yeah.
So straight. Yeah.
So wait, did you get your coins?
I don't know.
I think we've lost.
No, but I didn't get any coins. I didn't do that.
Never
doubted.
Okay.
Yeah,
so I get coins because I told
coins.
Yeah. All right.
I'll take some bitcoins.
Right.
Never have I ever been in love with a therapist, doctor, or health professional. I mean, except for right now.
Aw, my Toby. Has anybody out there in the Facebook Live world, anyone out there in the garden, listening in on TuneIn, just let us know if you have ever fallen in love with your therapist. It does happen. There's a name for it, which escapes me right now, a certain phenomena where you can fall in love with a therapist or a doctor or, you know, someone who's taking care of you. There's something about the nurturing love of being cared for that, you know, sometimes when we're lonely.
Has it happened to you?
It has not happened
that someone has done that, like that fall in love with, or like sort of been really, gotten really attached to you, like in that kind of way.
I wouldn't say that it has happened to me in the sense that I started out being their coach and so then they fell in love.
Right.
But what I have done, which I feel is a bit of a mistake, is I've gotten in relationships and ended up coaching people.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think you can say that a lot. Yeah,
yeah. It does not foster intimacy. It's not. What does Lee Schultz say? In heat for? I don't know what that means, honey. You're in heat for your therapist. I don't know. You have to tell us. Tell us. You know. what that means. But yeah, like I've fallen into the trap of being like a coach with people that I was with, and that's not good.
Now, but I mean, there's a type of person, and often it's like they say, like women who try to reform the bad boys. Is that even more than that? That you even because you are a coach in general, that you in your profession, that you go beyond that. You know, there's a lot of times, you know, I can change him. I'm with this guy, I can change him, or they, you know, try to mold somebody to be like that. You've gone beyond that. You're saying.
Yeah, and here's the thing about that, because I definitely suffered from that syndrome of being that woman who could fix him, of feeling like I was that woman that could fix a bad boy. Like I used to have serious bad boy addiction, which is part of the reason that I became a love coach. But what that evolved into until I got aware of it was just these new skills that I had that I could coach them, you know, like I could really fix them now because now I have all these tools.
Right.
And it took like learning that that's just not like actually having to experience it, not just knowing it in my head, but really coming up against like being with someone who had serious addiction.
Serious things, yeah.
Yeah, that I couldn't fix that for them.
Right, and they shouldn't be in a relationship anyway probably until they fix themselves.
Absolutely not.
All right, Lee has commented whatever.
Lee says lust. She was my doctor. Oh, Lee, honey, you just earned 4
And then he
coins.
says fun.
Fun. Good for you, honey. Here's your 4 coins. Lee's racking up a little bit of money over here.
Lee might be getting some desserts.
It happens. You have a
Never have I ever used a dating app to one night stand it. Now, can we get a coin for every incident? Because I have one.
You do? You do? You could get a coin for every incident.
No, I have.
You'd be rich. All right.
For one night stands, I mean, that's, you know, just talk to any gay guy about Grindr or Scruff and the apps that are out. It's very interesting. It's sort of also led, it's been part of the demise of a kind of like sort of the club. You know, the big clubs and stuff that we used to have, and the social aspect of being gay, where you go out, you don't have to now. You know, you can go home and, you know, order sex in, and so it's like interesting. Pizza. Yeah, I'm glad that these apps were not around when I was younger. You know, I was a little more mature than when they came out, because young people today have a lot of, you know, avenues to get, you know, some situations.
Yeah. I have to say what happened with me is I wasn't using an app to one night stand it, but ended up having a one night stand with someone that I met on an app. But it wasn't my intention to have a one night stand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right.
Like, you know, I fell into that girl trap.
Yeah, there's definitely like some apps that are, you know, for and that are for, you know, hooking up, I think, and so it's just kind of easy for it.
Yeah, and as long as you know that's what you're using it for, then, you know, more power to you.
All right.
But be safe. Kind of. Let's do one more, and then let's see if we'll do our what does my gay friend say?
All right. Never have I ever had to delete provocative email exchanges or text threads out of fear that my partner would find them.
I had to do that.
You did?
Yes, but not because I was doing anything untoward, but because I was with someone who was mistrustful and would check my phone and thought that everything was something untoward.
Yeah, a lot of people are reacting to this.
They've been in that situation. I see Michael Ronan just joined. What's up, Mikey? Yeah, like I think this can go both ways. It could either be that you're up to no good.
Yeah.
Or, like I said, like in my situation, it was just I had to, this person was mistrusting and, would go through my things, read my diary, all that stuff. So I had to like start hiding things.
I've been in a situation, not very that things, where you've left information out because you think the person can't handle it, whatever, and you know what I mean. And sometimes it's just you go overboard, like I was, and you really honestly were like, it was nothing in there, but they're gonna go crazy and think that it was something, something. Yeah. So you don't. It's just easy to not tell them. But I've never gotten like deleted, anything like that. But obviously the bigger problem is that why are they going through your phone?
Why are they going through your phone? Hit the like button if you have ever. Should we say if you've ever gone through your partner's phone?
If you've ever if
you're an advocate,
with or without them knowing.
Yeah, with or without them knowing. If you're an advocate of going through your partner's phone for whatever reason, no judgments here, just to kind of get an idea of what the climate is about that. I'm totally against it. Like I feel like if I got to go through your phone, then
there's something wrong.
Something's wrong. Somebody's liking out there.
So these likes are people that do want to.
These are people who do.
If any of you want to expound upon that, type a little note and let us know what you mean or why that works for you.
Yeah, and no judgments. Yeah. I mean, like everybody has their thing, right?
If I was a parent, I think parents should go through their kids' phones. So maybe
that's true.
In a relationship, there's some kind of reason that needs to be done. Here we go. Not an advocate, but I've done it. Angela.
I got you. So you did it, and then you were. But you don't want to be doing it. I mean, I get how there's like that temptation.
Angela, did you find what you thought you would find?
Lee says he's against it. Angela, chime in with whether you found something. Because they also say that when you go looking, you do find too, right?
I think that, if you're not against it and you're going looking, then you already think that there's something going on. And hopefully you have a reason for that. And this is just confirming something you already know. Which I think is the thing that a lot of times we know things and we need another confirmation that we know it, even though we really do know it.
We really do know it. But then even with that, I feel like, because I think when we listen to our intuition does tell us. It's like, have you pulled out every other option before going through the phone? Like, have you talked to the person? Have you, asked some questions? And I know if a person is cheating, they might not tell the truth. But if you're in tune with your own gut and you're having a conversation with someone and they're lying to you and they're like,
and you know them and you know that you can tell them,
Like, I feel like there's clues and indications there, right? Should we do one more? What do you think?
All right, that was good.
Right. I like that one too. It fostered some.
Some things. All
right, we got a lot of them here. What is it?
Never have I ever written out a list of people I've slept with and been shocked by the total number.
I've done that.
Or let's just say never have just written a list, whether or not you were shocked by the number. Have you written a list of the people?
I wrote a list and I actually was a little shocked by the number. Not because, here's the thing. I mean, I was raised a Christian girl, so there was like some sort of rule, which I don't know what the rule was about, how many people I'm supposed to have ever, I was supposed to probably get married in my mid-20s.
I was like, isn't the rule none?
Right? Exactly, none. Get married and be with that one person. So there was a little level of, and the shock came from my own shame about it. But my own shame about it doesn't necessarily indicate that it, wasn't like in the triple digits or anything like that. So it's not like it was anything crazy. Angela says guilty. I feel like a lot of us women sometimes will take stock just to like as a measuring meter. Like, am I a whore? We think things like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? She said, Angela said, I said, go me. Girl, you go ahead.
You got to set goals and try.
You got to set goals.
Just set the bar higher and higher every year.
Right? Be your own personal best. What does Lee say? I had friends in college who kept a list hanging in their closet. Very few of the
wow.
List. See, that's a different kind of list, though, Lee. That's probably like a bunch of
bragging
guys.
List, yeah.
Yeah.
And they were not shocked by it. They were
right.
Yeah, they were trying to shock you. That's awesome.
They were celebrating it. They were, pounding beers.
in your closet.
Right? But yeah, did I grab my coins, right?
Yeah, Angela and Lee both get coins for that last week.
Angela and Lee both get coins, and they chimed in with their wait. This is Angela, this is Lee, and they each get 3 for explanations. Woo! All right, so should we figure out who I think our at-home winner might be Lee, but let's just look. It's looking like he's got more coins.
Second one. Yeah, I can set this coins while we do our next one.
Yeah, so now we're going to do, what does my gay friend say? That's you, Toby.
Oh, okay.
I've elected you. Long ago. So we have these questions that we got. So we do a combination of like email, interwebs, client questions, whatever. So I grabbed a couple of these questions, probably offline, I would say, maybe Reddit. And I thought they were really interesting because this first one, it really resonated with me. Now, we probably will only have time for the one, but let's just do it. So this weekend, after 18 months together, my boyfriend told me that he cared very deeply for me and that we had the best partnership he'd ever experienced, but he did not love me because there was just something missing. So he ended things in a kind and mature way. We're both in our 30s, and the entire thing has been kind and mature and caring and sexy and vulnerable and honest, she puts in parentheses, from the beginning. I've dated my share of guys who were bad partners, and this guy was a good one. And although I am hurt, I get it. I also know that he was always a little bit on the fence about letting me fully into his life, literally and metaphorically. Whenever I would go to his apartment, there would never be a place for me to sit. He would have clothes and books and projects piled on every single one of his chairs and his sofa. So I kept waiting for him to start taking the actions that would let me in. And he kept waiting for the spark that would make him want to move forward. And in the meantime, we made a fun little team. In the end, although I am sad that he and I aren't going to continue our team, I respect him and I get it. And to be honest, at my core, I'm feeling a little bit of relief. I want someone who wants to let me in fully. What is flooring me is the piece about how he didn't love me. None of the guys I've dated long-term have ever loved me. They've liked me a gosh darn awful lot, but boy, oh boy, do they not want to pull out those 3 little words. And I think I'm lovable, both in my innate humanness and in my adult life. I have my shit together. I went to a therapist as a preemptive measure because I knew this most recent boyfriend and I were about to have either the breakup conversation or the let's start taking steps towards building a life together conversation. And I wanted to talk through how to approach both scenarios. My therapist said, there's nothing about you that is getting in your own way. You have remarkable communication and emotional coping skills, and you and your boyfriend have a slightly evolved partnership. She used the words highly evolved. She did warn me that the fact that he wasn't physically making space for me in his apartment was a red flag, yes, which I knew. We agreed that whatever happened between me and the boyfriend would happen in a mature and respectful way, and that I would be able to handle it vis-a-vis my remarkable coping skills. And all of these things have come true, and I'm still not fucking lovable. I should be cherished. Also, I'd like to think that there's a difference between a good person between I'm a good person, why don't you date me? And I'm a good partner, why don't you love me? But maybe there isn't. And when I got broken up with, I didn't go why. I went, okay, that's sad, but it's true and right and reasonable. I know what the truth of a relationship is, but I ache that the truth is always, I don't love you, goodbye, instead of I love you, but goodbye. I know I am not owed love. I also wonder sometimes if I don't know what love actually feels like, since so many grown men have told me it's been missing from our relationships. So what is love, and why is it missing from my highly evolved partnerships? What do you think, Toby? I know what I think.
I know what. So here's the thing that this woman does not love, the truth. Because there is either that or love giving her money to a good therapist. There's no way her therapist said all these things without saying anything negative. There's no, if we're reading this letter, which was so long, about this thing, there's just so many lies in here. So let's just start at the beginning. So she says that he says, he didn't love me and all this, but I was fine with that. Someone who's fine with that doesn't write a 1.5-page letter to somebody after going to a preemptive therapist and doing all these things. So if you want to lie to yourself, that's fine, but don't write it in a letter where people can all read you lying as well.
Exactly.
What do you think of that?
Well, I mean, I think that's absolutely right. But I also, not only is she lying to herself, but she's doing what a lot of, and I've done it myself, those of us who are, consider ourselves in the personal growth sort of, space, is that we get so good at the language and we get so good at the tools and figuring out what we're, what's kind and mature and having unconscious, or conscious uncouplings and things like that. We get so good at that stuff, right? And none of it is connective. So, basically she's in her own catch-22 right here. Because a lot of the things that she's talking about, these guys who have never loved her. And what I would ask her if I were talking to her directly is, have you loved you and have you loved them? Because we always assume that other people feel what we feel. So we get in relationships with people and, I don't want to marginalize women, but I know that women in particular, we like to pull someone in and mold them and kind of force them to be what we want them to be. And so a lot of times, we don't necessarily really have love for that person. We just figure we can make them be lovable, or we can.
It's not as common even with guys, but even with gay guys, a lot of times, I have many friends who do this today, in a hookup or whatever, will latch onto that person, and all of a sudden, like, they're dating, and one person's acting like they're in a relationship and they're dating, and the other person is not acting like that because the other person is not in a relationship and dating. Sometimes people put something on other people, and that's not fair to the other person, and probably the other person no, and then all of a sudden there's this big argument, this big blow up, and you're like, what's going on? Were they dating? Were they not dating? One person's telling you one story and believes it, another person's telling another story and believes it, but that one of you people is just in their minds have made up this story that we're dating because we hooked up that one time, or whatever happens, and so I think it happens. So it even happens in gay relationships when it's two guys. I think it's less common. I think that the more common thing we see is with women doing that. But
so when there's like not relationship clarity,
there's not even a thing, or one person has literally just made, like, they've gone like 8 steps forward in their mind, and the person and they've left the other person behind, but the other person's with them in their mental journey, and then they've convinced themselves that that's what's happening, that's really what's going on, and it leads to the struggle, and you're like, how are you fighting? You're not even dating, but in their mind they are.
Right, like we are in a relationship.
Yeah, right. In their mind they're like, oh,
there was another thing that you said about the therapist, not like a therapist to tell you there's nothing about you that's getting in your own way.
She didn't say that.
There's no way that she's a licensed worth her salt Sarah.
Right. I was like, right? She went and saw Jane Lynch from 2.5 Men. Right. That was like, come on.
Because we all, like, if our relationships aren't working out, if our love life is not working out, we are the only ones who can get in our own way.
Well, it's clear when she says it's a pattern. Nobody has ever loved you. Nobody. It's going over and over. That's the pattern could be that you choose a certain type of guy. That's still you chose them. But I think more the pattern is also that you are dating a hoarder, because it sounds like his heart is on this.
He's got clothes and books.
Unless he literally had like one book in every slot, like, which was like deliberately, like, here she comes and he's placing a book in every seat. Like,
milk crate.
I'm working on all these projects. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And and he, you already knew. And the thing is, she also doesn't trust herself. She already knew that this wasn't going to go. She went to therapy in advance. And she also, she did this with signs, but we made a great team. A team of doing what? Were you playing tennis? Were you like solving crimes? Like, what is that about? And then, she says, she's that. And so she knew, she didn't believe herself. And then she used all these buzzwords that she learned in books and stuff, I'm just going to be mature. And she even puts them in quotes. And the thing you guys couldn't see that, she puts them in quotes because she knows that they're fake. They're words that she was supposed to use. She's not in touch with her actual feelings, which are feelings of neediness and writing long letters. Right.
Writing long letters. And these pitfalls of personal growth. Because the thing is ultimately when we're really applying it, the authentic connection, that's what causes the intimacy, and that's what creates this love. So if you guys were really having such a great time together and really were, like Toby said, working out as a team for what? Then what was missing was that, and probably he just didn't know how to put, his finger on it. He said that there was something missing. What was missing was actual intimacy. Right. And you can't be intimate with someone while you're in personal growth mode and you're just like, rattling off the tools or rattling off.
Yeah, and I can imagine if she's this needy after, she was probably very needy during the thing, during the time.
Yeah. And, we go through our stages. You live and you learn, but you got to realize when you have a pattern. And that, patterns are good because they teach us lessons.
The one person you shouldn't be lying to, though, is yourself. You really got to, know what, where your fault, your problems and things are. And I think that's the main thing. It's like, know yourself before you expect other people to treat you well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I see, look, all these people came in. Kevin and Brian and Beth. Oh my gosh.
Beth said get a new therapist. Thank you, Beth.
Right? Thank you, honey. Oh my gosh, we're at 5:57. We gotta wrap it up. This was so much fun, Toby. I'm so glad that you came. I love it. Okay, so to wrap it up, as always, I give you guys 3 things. The 3 things are, well, first one is play Never Have I Ever, because that's fun. I feel like we got to know each other even better.
Game,
right?
I used to,
hopefully you guys got to know us a little bit better.
And be honest about it, and just tell these stories, and don't be shameful about it.
Right? Just don't be ashamed to be authentic and be yourself. And I think that for the second one, I liked what you said about like being honest with yourself. Like even, especially if you're in this sort of like personal growth world, especially if you're like one of these people who, and I'm one of them, like I can become a transformation junkie, but at some point you got to be willing to just tell yourself the truth, that just knowing the stuff doesn't mean you're applying the stuff. Right. You know
yourself. That doesn't mean you need to change anything if you don't want to, but just know like who you are. Yeah.
And when you want something to change, just realize that you do have agency over it. Right. And there's never a situation where you're doing everything right, but everything's going wrong. Like that's just not how it works, you know? So, and then the third thing to make your love and life sweeter for this week, sign up for a free coaching call. You can sign up with me. You can either comment on this Facebook Live thread, or if you're listening in, you can go to CandiceHarperLoveCoach.com and do a free discovery call. And I will tell you about my program, The Secret Art of Seductive Singlehood, which is where I teach women how to get their mojo back and get back into that dating space, the confidence back, get into that, healthy relationship building, loving space that we all want to be in, because everybody can get a relationship, but it takes self-love to get into a healthy relationship. We got 30 seconds left. What else do we have to say? Is there anything you want to say about where they can find you?
TobyBlackwell.com. I'll be updating with some of my music and parodies, and that's it.
All right, and you're going to have to come back. Until next time, never forget you are a love machine. If you ever start to feel like you aren't getting the love you need, just make more and always ask for candy. So goodbye to the people in the garden. Goodbye to the people who are listening on the TuneIn app. The Facebook Live people, you guys always stay like a few seconds longer. Bye. Radio Global just left us. Lee, I see Grace joined us. Beth, Brian, everybody who came in at the last minute. Hopefully you can go back and listen to us again.
Yeah.
My lovely friend Toby was here as my guest.
It was such a pleasure. Thank you.
Did you have fun?
Yes, it was fun.
I had fun too.
Now I can be a guest judge on RuPaul's Drag Race and all.
Right? Hello. You're going to have to come back. I think I want you to come back next Monday. You're going to come back? Yeah? Yay. Toby's coming back next Monday. We're going to do some other fun stuff. And we'll work that out over the course of the week. All right. I love you guys.
Thank you for having me. I will talk to you soon.
Yay. Thank you for being here. Bye, everybody. Oh, and it was Lee. Lee, you won. We're going to figure out a prize for you. You won the Never Have I Ever. We got to figure out who won between us. We'll let you know next week. All right. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.